Hey, brothers and sisters, from Local 1103 Union Hall, this is Vice President Kevin Sheil. I was asked to give a comment on the Verizon strike today. Unfortunately, I'm utilizing the camera myself, so you have to bear with the unprofessionalism of the message. I was asked to give some comments regarding how it's going today, and obviously with the company's desire to destroy our working class, middle class way of life. They've come to the bargaining table and they've basically said that we will not bargain fairly with the union. We have no respect for the union. We have no respect for our employees, and that's the message that they sent to the bargaining team last evening. So I know that there's been a lot of things in the media regarding some sabotage. Listen, it's a diversion. Verizon is attempting to put out that there's been acts of sabotage to attempt to divert from the real story. And the real story has nothing to do with sabotage. It has nothing to do with criminal activity. It has everything to do with the fact that they are attempting to strip our collective bargaining rights away. And they are also now attempting to strip the ability to assemble in a public location. That's what the company thinks of us. That's what the company thinks of our families. And that's what the company thinks of me and you. So the real story here is that you have a corporation that is attempting to create the story and attempting to paint the picture as a comparison between the haves and the have-nots. It's a play out of the Wisconsin playbook where they're attempting to say we need to compare one group of workers' incomes and benefits with another group of workers' income and benefits. And it's not right. It's a false comparison, and you need to know that. It's an attempt to pit private against public, public against private, middle-class worker against middle-class worker, union against non-union. And it will be defeated this time because the community supports our efforts. That is the true story here. And we have to reject the Verizon playbook. We have to reject the story. We have to keep doing what we're doing in the communities. We have to keep doing what we're doing on the picket line because we are successful. The community supports our efforts. Our neighbors, our friends, our families, our whole communities, groups that aren't even union are supporting our efforts because they realize that Verizon is a profitable company. They are a multi-billion-dollar company. And in fact, this past year, even though Mitt Romney says corporations are individuals, Verizon, the corporation or the individual, as Mitt Romney would say, paid nothing in federal income taxes. Zero. And they did that in 2010 and they did it again in 2009. So it's not right that a company like Verizon pays nothing in federal income taxes, that they can actually take a $4.6 billion and send it overseas in the form of dividends to Vodafone, which they did 5 days before negotiations. So it's not right. People understand what's going on here. They understand that it's not just an institutional fight with the union CWA fighting against Verizon. They understand that it's the beginning or a continuation of a movement. And it's not just the union movement, it's the middle class movement. It's a patchwork of pieces that have been sewn together that includes community groups, unions, religious leaders, politicians, family, friends. It's a big movement, and we have to continue this movement because it's an important movement to win. We cannot allow Verizon, a greedy corporation, to destroy our way of life. When the fact of the matter is, what they're also trying to do is trying to create this vision that somehow the people that we represent are very wealthy and that they're somehow greedy. The bottom line is, and this is the truth, is that most of our members live paycheck to paycheck, and that is a fact. Okay, but our members know, and they are willing to sacrifice, and they know that they must be in this for the long haul, because if they're not in it for the long haul, our way of life and our family's way of life will be destroyed, and we're not going to let that happen. We're absolutely not going to let that happen, and our leadership is not going to let that happen. So we have to continue the fight. We didn't just wake up on Monday and say, we somehow have to compare ourselves with Verizon Wireless and other people who don't pay into this and pay into that. It's the story that they're trying to portray as if everything is equal on Monday, when the reality is that as unionized workers, as CWA workers, there is a 50-year history with this corporation. A 50-year history of sacrifice, of loss of life, of literally loss of life on the picket line, fighting for what we have. And we are not going to let them destroy that. And we're not going to let them steal it away from us because we deserve more. The reality is that Verizon should be a company, especially in this economy with the American economy not doing as well as it should be. They shouldn't be looking to say, we're going to destroy the middle class way of life. We're going to drive that standard of living down into the sewer. What they should be saying is that there's a decent standard of living for the unionized workers of Verizon. It's one company, by the way. It's not two separate companies. And what we're going to do is, instead of driving the Verizon wire line side of the business down into the sewer, we're going to raise the standard of living for our wireless counterparts or their wireless employees. That's what they should be doing, especially in this economy. They should be, not only they should be doing that, they should be looking to hire 5,000 workers. What better message as a American corporation to say we're going to invest in America's future. We're going to hire people. And not only are we not going to take advantage of the economy and try to create this have-nots and have people fight against one another, we're going to raise the standard of living for the wireless line of the business and the employees who work there. And we're going to give them the pensions that they deserve. We're going to give them the great 401ks that they deserve. We're going to give them the benefits that they deserve. And you know why we're going to do that? Because we can afford to do it. You know, we would be having a very different conversation here today, quite frankly, if this corporation was in dire straits. There may be, they may have had a legitimate argument if that was the case, where we would be having all these talk of concession talks right now. But that's not the reality. The reality is that this company made over $15 billion in profit last year. In profit. So they're doing quite well. And in fact, the CEOs of this company and the top 5 executives of this company have made over $250 million in the last 4 years. They make $55,000 a day. So they have no problem living on a high hog, but they want to take away from us. Essentially what they want to do is they want to deny for us what they demand for themselves. And there's nothing right about that. And we're not going to have it. We're going to be successful. You need to believe that at the end of the day, and I don't like that term, but at the end of the day, history will judge that we were on the right side. We will be judged as being on the right side of history. So thank you.